Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 44, verses 18 through 34. So Joseph is playing a game with his brothers, and the real intent is to find out who his brothers really are. They're claiming to be righteous and good. Joseph thinks he knows them differently. And so he frames them. You know, he puts his silver chalice in the sack of the youngest one, Benjamin, and all the brothers are just driven with grief because they know what this means. I don't know if Benjamin does. And they go back to Joseph. They're bowing down before him. And what Judah says in verse 16 is like the verse. He says, we have no excuse. We have no explanation for this, but God has found out the guilt of your servants. God has found out what we have done and that we really are not the righteous people we claim to be. We're not going to God. We can't hide from God, right? That's sort of what this is all about. And then he says, we are your slaves. And the truth is for us as individuals, because we are corrupted by original sin, we are slaves to sin. And we either are going to be slaves of sin or slaves of God. And really, to be a slave of God is to be a child of God that's set free. But we're not there yet. And, you know, the brothers can't accuse Joseph. They can't explain how their money and the silver chalice is back in their sack. But they also know they can't accuse Joseph because they know they really are corrupt men. And it's the same way that we can't accuse God when we don't like that the law is bearing down on us and showing us to be the sinners we are, because we can't accuse God because it's the truth. And so they all say, hey, we'll all be your slaves, you know, just let Benjamin go free. And Joseph's like, oh, far be it from me. I wouldn't, not all of you are going to be slaves. Only the one who's guilty. Now, it's kind of funny because all of them are guilty except for Benjamin, right? And now they become desperate. There is no hope of deliverance. There's no one coming to save Judah, Benjamin, and the rest of the brothers. And they are desperate. And, you know, Judah's like, listen, we told you who we were. You told us to go back to our father and bring our youngest brother. Our father didn't want to do this. I swore to him that I would be responsible for him. And it will kill my father if Benjamin doesn't return, because, as he says, my father's life is bound up with this lad's. And, you know, one of the things to think about it, how is God the Father's life bound up with us? And that he will take on death in the cross of Jesus Christ so that we can be freed from sin. And so he says, you know, our father said, go back, but please make sure my youngest son comes back to me. And so Judah says, so now if the boy is not with us when I go back, your servant, my father, you know, he'll die if he doesn't have his son back. So how can I go back? In this desperate prayer. And here's the thing to hear is that's where God wants to get us, is that this ardent appeal for mercy to him, where there's no other avenue but God's mercy. And that is the hope of the gospel. Not our efforts, not our supposed goodness, but our only hope is God's mercy. Well, hey, thanks, friends, for listening to the Daily Plunge. Please take time to like it, share it, and subscribe. Have a blessed day.